Good morning, it's Allison with DeLong's Do Disney, and it's another drive time video. Do you ever have a day where you have something on your agenda that you love to do, but you just kind of hate the process of what you gotta do to be able to do it? Well, that's kind of my day today. So in order to kind of carry myself through it, I want to talk to you a little about whether or not Disney is trying to outprice a Disney trip for the everyday folks. Stay tuned. But before I get started on that, just to let you know that these are the assistants that I have. I bought a bookcase for my office, and this is my creativity space here, but I have help. When Walt Disney first began imagining Disneyland, he wanted to create a destination where children, parents, and families could travel to have fun, experience nature, and learn more about history. He wanted a place where they could escape, a place where dreams could come true. On the opening day of Disneyland, he is quoted as saying, "To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here, age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts which created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world." He wanted to make it accessible. What would Walt say today about what's happening in Disney? Perks for staying on property have been reduced. Access to extra hours in the park have been reduced, restricted to only guests staying at certain resorts, or come with a high added cost, which also includes fewer perks. Guests will no longer receive complimentary magic bands. Of course, all that is being done probably to help Disney recover from the COVID-19 losses, but is it really in keeping with what Walt envisioned? Are Disney's cost increases, changes in perks, and overall access pricing a Disney trip out of reach for a regular guest? So let's start with the loss of Magic Express. Disney's Magical Express is a shuttle from Orlando International Airport that brings guests staying on property to the resort, quote unquote, free of charge. Prior to COVID-19, guests didn't even have to pick up their own luggage. It was done for them. The premise is to immediately begin the process of immersing guests in the Disney bubble as soon as they get off the plane. This service will end at the end of 2021, at one point with promises of being replaced with a train service from NCO to Disney Springs, which would mean guests would then have to get transportation with luggage in tow to the resort. This, of course, would be an added cost, especially since this new line won't be finished for several years. What is being touted as the replacement transportation is the Mears Connect. The cost for this service will be $16 each way per adult and $13.50 per child. Guests can pay a premium service, which is $200 round trip for up for 4 passengers, with each additional passenger having a cost of $55 per person. Of course, this cost is not incorporated into your resort costs like the Magical Express was, and there isn't any indication that cost of resort stays are decreasing. On the contrary, they are increasing. And then there's the new Star Wars Hotel. Several years ago, Disney announced plans to build a new immersive hotel adjacent to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios that would be a 2-day experience similar to that of a cruise, except your destination would be space. Once check-in is completed on the Star Wars Galactic cruiser, the duration of your stay would take place on the Galactic cruiser, with the exception of when you exited the hotel to experience a guaranteed boarding pass for the Rise of the Resistance. No waking up at 7 a.m. to compete with every other person visiting the park that day or trying to grab a pass at 1 o'clock. While on the trip, you are part of the story. You can dress the park if you like and plan your itinerary based on what's interesting to you, including exciting and exclusive activities, missions, character encounters, and adventures that go beyond any ordinary vacation experience, as indicated on the Disney World website. You would dine on board the Galactic cruiser just as you would a regular sea cruise, with specially themed dinners each night and more flexible meals for breakfast and lunch from all over the galaxy. Your admission to Hollywood Studios is included in the cost, and you'd also receive that free magic band, which is no longer available for other resort guests. How much will all this cost you? Well, it could cost you up to $6,000 for the entire stay. And then we have to say goodbye to FastPass. We haven't seen the return of FastPass since parks reopened after COVID. Initially designed to manage attraction lines, Disney created the paper FastPass, where you could go to a ride, insert your ticket, and receive a paper ticket telling you when you could come back to ride the ride and avoid waiting in the standby line. Over time, that evolved to being an online reservation system where you could book up to 3 passes per day for free, and again, have a period of time to visit the ride where you could avoid waiting in the longer standby lines. The premise is that if people are using the FastPass, even those who are waiting in the standby line have a shorter wait because not everyone is waiting in the same line. As the parks have reopened and capacity has been increasing, everyone has been keeping an eye out for Disney's plans to reactivate the FastPasses. This week, the news came out that in the fall of 2021, Disney will be doing away with the FastPass system and replacing it with Disney Genie. They're promising to give everyone their own Genie to make their Disney experience more magical. The complimentary system that will appear as an add-on to the My Disney Experience app is purported to help guests with their Disney dining plans by helping create personal trips, determine wait times, and afford more flexibility in Disney travel and planning. The Disney Genie Plus service is available for purchase at a cost of $15 per ticket per day at Disney World and $20 per ticket per day at Disneyland. It allows guests to select arrival times at available attractions where, upon arrival, they will use the Lightning Lane entrance to ride Disney favorites like Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain Railway, and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, subject to availability. Guests can reserve arrival times for up to 2 attractions per day at an additional cost that will gain access to the Lightning Lane for high-demand attractions like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Rise of the Resistance. It does not include attractions available through Genie Plus. Disney is not quoting prices because they will be based on the date, attraction, and park, and will not be defined until closer to launch. For now, the list of attractions available for each park is only rumored, so I won't go into that here. In Disney World, the proposed list should include up to 40 attractions, and in Disneyland, guests have the option of choosing from a list of over 15 attractions. One plus is that the selections do not have to be made until the day of your trip, so you would have the flexibility to decide whether or not to use your Genie Plus purchases on rides that don't have an unbearable wait time in the standby line. Guests won't make their first attraction selection until 7 a.m. on the day of their park visit for resort guests and at park opening for those staying off property. And once used, they will be able to select one after another for the rest of their day. If you use the Park Hopper, you will be able to use Disney Genie Plus and the individual attraction selections at any park on the same day. Well, with increased costs on a number of levels, it seems pretty clear that Disney is using costs to help with crowds, which was one of the biggest pre-COVID complaints. Increased cost means fewer people will be coming to the park because it has been priced outside their budget. But Disney is still making money because the people who can pay will pay. So what do you think? Do you think Disney is placing Disney vacations out of the reach of regular folks? Are you willing to pay the extra costs and lose the once loved perks for a Disney trip? Let me know in the comments. If this video has been valuable for you, would you give me a thumbs up? And then if you'd like to learn more and be a part of more of my Disney work, as well as sharing my seasoned life experiences, I would sure love it if you would subscribe to my channel and ring that bell icon so that I can notify you when a new video is uploaded. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I appreciate you being here.